What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another UFC prediction video. My camera's way too high up. I'm just kind of realizing this. This should be better. Nope, it's not. Okay, technical difficulties to start this video. Too low. Oh my god. Oh my Jesus. There we are. That's better. But today we are going to be talking UFC 310 live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. The reigning flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja takes on Kai Asakura, I believe he's undefeated, is he? I'm not sure. Kai Asakura, 21-4. I mean, still pretty darn good, but he takes on the rising star from Rising, Kai Asakura, who has a chance to be Japan's first ever UFC champion. So many great fights on this card with the likes of Shavkat Rahkmanov, Ian Garry, the two undefeated fighters putting their undefeated record on the line. Gane versus Volkov, Mitchell versus Gracie, Landwehr versus Choi are all the fights we're going to break down today. We also got Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, Vicente Luque, Garimbo on the prelims, Evloev, Sterling on the prelims, and Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. Should be a great card. Let's get into it. Before we get into breaking down the pay-per-view, the prelims are too good on this fight for me to not give a shout out. Obviously, I talked about him earlier, but we have Evloev taking on Aljamain Sterling. I think this is a great fight. I got Evloev winning this one. I think it's going to be a very close fight, but I do think Movsar Evloev will just have more chop control, be a more dominant grappler, be the more dominant fighter. So I'm going to take Evloev over Sterling. No offense to Sterling, I just think Evloev's a great fighter. And Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith is another fight I want to talk about. Poor Anthony Smith. The loss of his jiu-jitsu coach, man, that's going to suck. That absolutely sucks. I mean, Dom Reyes is a skilled fighter to begin with. The loss to John Jones Bowl, I guess, now that Thiago Santos is out of the picture. But I'm going to say Dominic Reyes wins this fight. And yeah, I think he's just going to pick Anthony Smith apart on the feet, especially now that there's some confidence back in the camp of Dom Reyes. Starting things off with the pay-per-view here, we got Nate Landwehr versus Doo Ho Choi. Doo Ho Choi, someone who has not fought in a while, but it's good to see him back, man. Good to see him back and in the cage. Nate Landwehr is going to be a very tough test for him. This fight is going to be on the feet. We all know that this is going to be a stand, bang, and trade kind of fight. I think Doo Ho Choi is probably going to be more of the brawler in this one. Maybe, potentially. I mean, I could also see Nate Landwehr just trying to land a big shot. Honestly, this is probably a contender for fight of the night, to be honest. I could see both of these guys just standing in the middle and banging it out, and whoever falls first, falls first. But this is a tough fight to call, man. I think Doo Ho Choi's inactivity is going to be his kryptonite in this fight in a way. So with putting that all into my head, I'm going to go with Nate Landwehr in this fight. It's going to be a very close fight between two tough fighters, but I just like Landwehr in this fight. I mean, he's got some pretty good wins over the last couple fights. Like, he beat Emmers there. He did fight Dan Ige and lost, but he still put up a decent fight in that one. He lost by unanimous decision. But I like Nate Landwehr in this fight. Fighting against an established name like Doo Ho Choi, this is a big test for him, and I think he'll get the job done. I'm going to say a decision. Next up, come on camera, focus, there we are, is Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell taking on Kron Gracie at 145 pounds. The featherweight division, we'll see two jiu-jitsu specialists really going at it. But for people who know how these matchups work, if two grappling guys fight each other, it always seems to cancel out. No one wants to shoot for the takedown, and then we have a striking fight. I mean, Kron Gracie's going to shoot for the takedown no matter what, but I don't think Bryce Mitchell's going to let him have that very easily. And honestly, a great example of two grapplers making it a striking fight. In my opinion, the greatest example of that is the first fight between Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. I think that's the greatest example of how two grappling first fighters almost cancel each other out in a way. And then we have two superstars who are really good for their grappling game become strikers. And I mean, if Crone can get him on the ground, man, I do think Crone will win this fight. Crone is an amazing grappler. Out of that Diaz, Stockton camp, I mean, there's some dogs in that gym, bro. There is some dogs in that gym. But if you want my honest take on this fight, I just don't think Thug Nasty's going to let him get to the ground, man. Bryce Mitchell, he's a good fighter. He's tough as nails. And I mean, any fighter who takes the amount of punishment like he did off of Josh Emmett and Ilya Tuporia, like, this guy, he's got an IDGAF attitude. Like, he does not care. Bryce Mitchell is a dog, and I think his willingness and toughness will pull him through this fight. I'm going to say he gets a technical stoppage on Crone Gracie in the 3rd round, but I like Thug Nasty in this one. I think this is a great fight. If he can beat a Gracie, I think this is a great fight to up his star power in the division. Next up, we have Ciryl Gane taking on Alexander Volkov. This is a very, 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 very compelling fight at heavyweight. Obviously, these two guys have fought before, Ciryl Gane being the victor in this in their previous outing. This fight was pushed back a couple months, though. That is something to look into when you're studying this fight, because this fight was supposed to be on the Topuria Holloway card, but that never ended up happening. I don't remember who got injured, but something must have happened there, who got sick or whatever it was. Volkov's looking to get into the title picture, so is Ciryl Gane, and their paths meet again. Now, do I think any of these guys should be jumping Tom Aspinall in the heavyweight title picture? No, especially knowing John Jones is the champion and knowing what John Jones did to Ciryl Gane when they were in the cage. But I expect a very good technical point fight in this one. I mean, honestly, man, I really like Ciryl in this fight, but something about this fight is just telling me Volkov. Like, I got a really good gut feeling about Alexander Volkov, and I don't know why. I mean, he's taller, yes. I mean, I think Cyril's more skilled, but like, I got a real gut feeling about Alexander Volkov in this fight. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, but there's something about it that just makes me want to take Alexander Volkov in this fight. Don't know why. It could very realistically go the other way, but screw it. I'm going to take Alexander Volkov to win this fight. Does he take Ciryl Gane to the ground? It might honestly be his best bet. I mean, Ciryl Gane actually does have more wins by submissions, but we've seen how easy John Jones made it when he took Ciryl Gane to the ground, so it's a compelling fight. It's a very compelling fight. Both guys, obviously, heavyweights. Volkov's got the longer leg reach. Maybe he can use some T-kicks to his advantage, but if Volkov makes it a straight-out technical boxing fight, I think Ciryl Gane wins every day. But if Volkov can make it dirty, get in tight, get in the clinch, and maybe get some control time on Ciryl Gane, I think that's going to give him a much better advantage in this fight. I will take Alexander Volkov. I'm going to say by a decision, but it's a very compelling fight, this one. It is a very compelling fight. Next up is at the welterweight division, Shavkat Rahkmanov versus Ian Garry for the, what I'm going to call the interim 170 belt, because this fight should be the #1 contender fight. The 18-0 Rahkmanov, who actually had a title shot lined up against Bilal Muhammad, pulled out, and now Shavkat Rahkmanov's putting his undefeated record on the line against fellow undefeated fighter Ian Garry. This fight is such a good fight, man. You can't ask for a much better fight than what these two are going to put on. It kind of reminds me of McGregor versus Khabib in a way. I know it's not the greatest time to be bringing up Conor McGregor, but like, you got the striker and Ian Garry, even from Ireland, and you got Shavkat Rahkmanov, who's got a amazing wrestling base from Uzbekistan, which that's just like Dagestan-esque, if you ask me. So this fight's got great fight written all over it. I really do think so. Big question is, can Ian Garry keep it on the feet? I mean, these two are former training partners, which does make it very compelling. I will say that the fact that these two did used to train together makes it a very compelling fight in that aspect, but for me, it's pretty hard to deny Shavkat Rahkmanov. Like, that dude is an absolute beast. He is an absolute beast. I think Shavkat Rahkmanov's going to win this fight. I really do. I think Shavkat Rahkmanov's got future welterweight dominance written all over him. I really do. This guy is an absolute dog. Like, absolute dog, this guy. He's insane. He's absolutely insane. He can stand and trade with you. I mean, I don't think he'll be as good as Ian Garry on the feet, but if it comes to the ground, I think Shavkat Rahkmanov is going to run circles and probably lay Ian Garry into circles, to be honest. I think Rahkmanov is that good. And I think Ian Garry will definitely have his moments in this fight, especially in the striking exchanges. I think he's a much better, he's much faster and much quicker than Rahkmanov, but after what I've seen against MVP, and I can't remember who the fight before that was, it would have been Jeff Neal, I think. If you look back at how both of these guys did against Jeff Neal, Rahkmanov stands out significantly, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Shavkat Rahkmanov. I think he's going to submit Ian Garry in the 4th or 5th round, one or the other, but I do think Shavkat Rahkmanov will get the win by a submission in this fight. I hope Ian Garry brings the heat, man, because this fight's got great fight written all over it. And finally, our main event at flyweight for the flyweight title is Alexandre Pantoja taking on Kai Asakura for the undisputed flyweight title. Now, this is a good fight in my opinion because we have Pantoja, 28-5, veteran of the division, holding down that title, facing a young, hungry, up-and-coming challenger like Kai Asakura, who has been devastating the ranks over in Asia. I mean, have you seen some of his knockouts over there? Like, oh my god. No one wanted to fight this guy. Absolutely nobody wanted to fight Kai Asakura. And who wants to fight him? Alexandre Pantoja. I don't think this fight is, how do I describe it? It's not for the casual MMA fan, but if you know what you're watching and if you just purely love combat sports, this fight is a fight for you. I really do believe that. I truly believe Kai Asakura can knock Alexandre Pantoja out at almost any given minute, and I think Pantoja can submit Asakura in any given minute as well. I really do think that. I mean, I think the speed of Asakura is going to be a huge weapon for Pantoja. We're going to see Pantoja in a lot of different elements that I don't think we've seen Pantoja in before, especially in the striking exchanges, like even in the clinch, looking out for those knees and elbows from a distance, the spinning kicks. Asakura is great, man. And how does Pantoja react to missing with more strikes than usual? Because we know Asakura's got some phenomenal head movement. The way he moves his feet is second to none. His footwork to body ratio in the striking exchanges, I haven't seen many people do the kind of moves that Kai Asakura does. It is amazing to watch. I could watch it all day, to be honest. I love watching Kai Asakura fight. I mean, I haven't really heard much about him up until about a year or two ago. But once you start doing research on this guy, and once you see some of the things he's done in the Rising promotion, you're just like, wow, this dude is good. Like, this dude is very good. Oh, who do I pick, man? Who do I pick? I could see Asakura knocking out Pantoja. I could also see Pantoja submitting Asakura. But has Pantoja ever been knocked out? That's what I want to know. Has Pantoja... Because I think the power that Asakura brings is going to be huge for him as well. Pantoja has never been submitted or knocked out in his professional career. But I feel like if anyone can knock him out, especially in this flyweight division, it's Asakura. And if we have a fighter like Asakura atop at flyweight, I think he's going to be a future star in the making. But throwing him into a title fight in his first fight, I just don't think that's what he needs. I think he needs to fight another contender or two. But I'm going to take Pantoja. I think Asakura is going to give him hell. I really do. I think this is going to be Pantoja's hardest fight in the division, and he will prove a lot to me if he gets the win in this one. I am going to say Pantoja gets the win by decision. I think he's going to get the decision. I mean, the grappling game of Asakura is going to be what comes into question too, because we haven't really seen him on the ground much, but I think Pantoja will try to take him in the deep waters, keep him on the ground, keep those power strikes away, and I see Alexandre Pantoja getting the win by I think it's going to be like a 49-46 unanimous decision. Asakura might take a round, but that's about the max I see. Guys, let me know what your predictions are for UFC 310 in the comments down below. It should be a great night of fights from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I will see you for the next pay-per-view for UFC 311 at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. How have they not announced a main event for this yet? I mean, we pretty much know it's going to be Makhachev versus Tsarukyan, but how have they not? Well, Makhachev Tsarukyan too, but how have they not announced that yet? Something's going on there, I don't know. But announce the cards, UFC. I want to try and get to one. Announce the cards. Anyway, guys, take care and peace.